welcome to week 12. I always try to do this with my fingers and I always fail. I am 12 weeks and 4 days today, and I have had a lot of things happen this week, or not happen, but just lots of things to update on. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with some questions that a lot of people are having. These are the questions that I keep seeing again and again and again. The number one question that people are asking is, am I gonna have another home birth? My answer to this is absolutely. You couldn't pay me to go back to a hospital to deliver unless, of course, there was something wrong. My home birth with Landon was just such an amazing experience. I cannot even consider going back to a hospital to deliver unless there was like some kind of complications, of course. I'm not like against hospital births, but for me, if it's possible, I am absolutely 100% home birth for me. I have already hired the midwife. Everything's set to go for a home birth. As for a water birth, people are asking, do you want to have another water birth? And I definitely am going to plan for another water birth. I know that a lot of the times people will plan to have a water birth and they don't necessarily make it to the water. I'm definitely planning on having another water birth. I'm going to get one of the pools again, probably the same one that I had with Landon. So I'm definitely planning for a home water birth this time, just like I did with Landon. And people were also asking if I'm gonna have the same midwife that I had with Landon. And yes, I am. I loved her. She was amazing. I trust her. And yes, I did hire her. So yes to the water birth, yes to the same midwife. I've seen those questions going around a lot. So symptoms this week, I am still sick, and I kind of thought that it was like tapering off and I thought it was getting better. But like these last couple days, it's been really, really bad. And I think with all of my other pregnancies, I was trying to like watch some of my 12-week videos with the other kids, and it seems like for the most part, my sickness was kind of gone or going away. And with this one, it's not. Like, I feel like it's still really, really bad. But there's not like a specific time of day. It's not like morning sickness. It's not really night sickness anymore. It's just random times throughout the day. Although I do think it sort of gets worse at night, just because like throughout the day your body gets tired. But I have noticed that when I get hungry, that's when I get sick. Once I get to the point of feeling sick, it doesn't matter if I eat or not, I'm just gonna be sick. But that being said, I have no appetite for anything. My poor husband, because I just sit there and complain about being starving. He's like, what do you want? I'll get you anything. And I'm like, nothing, I don't want anything. I just have no appetite. I don't want anything. Nothing sounds good. And I actually had a midwife appointment today, and I weigh the same exact amount, if not maybe a little bit less than I did pre-pregnancy. I have not gained a single pound. And I did start off higher, like I mentioned at the beginning of this pregnancy. I started off weighing more than I have in the past, so that's probably part of it. But I think part of it as well is not having an appetite. So on the subject of food, it's either I don't want to eat anything, everything sounds gross, or I have one specific thing on my mind, and if I don't get that, I will bite your head off. I'm either here or I'm here. I'm nowhere in between. And a big one for me recently has been ketchup, which is weird because, as I mentioned before, I have been having cravings of things that I've never ever liked, and ketchup is one of those. I've never liked ketchup. I'm that weird person that doesn't put anything on my hot dogs, anything on like corn dogs, so like anything that you put ketchup on, I don't put ketchup on. And I have just been craving ketchup, so I've been wanting like hot dogs and corn dogs, which is bad, I know, but mostly just so I can dip it in ketchup. I've just really been wanting ketchup, and I've never liked ketchup, so it's really weird. I am still craving the mint. I think I talked about this last week. Not necessarily craving, but that taste in my mouth is still there, still gross. And I have a pack of gum that I just keep with me, and I'll just put gum in my mouth because that's like the only thing that'll make me feel slightly better, because that taste in my mouth is just disgusting. So I have been chewing a lot of mint gum and brushing my teeth like 7 times a day. Another thing this week, I believe I talked about this with my pregnancy with Landon, not this early, but I'm pretty sure I did mention it later in pregnancy. So let me give you a little bit of background. My family has varicose vein problems. Like, my grandma had to have surgery. My mom has a bunch, like we just have, and then my grandma on my other side also, I think she either had surgery or she just has problems with them. And they don't like affect anything like health-wise, but just varicose veins run in my family a lot. With Lilia, probably because I was very, very young, I didn't get any varicose veins during pregnancy because those can form during pregnancy. With the twins, I remember, and I don't know if I ever talked about this, I got one varicose vein down the back of my leg. Just one. With Landon, I got like 12 varicose veins only during pregnancy on the back of my leg, and then the majority of them went away as soon as I wasn't pregnant anymore. So was really weird, but they're like really, if you don't know what varicose veins are, they're just like veins that you can see that kind of like pop out. And I have them on the back of my left leg, and that's it, like nowhere else. And it's not like on my calf, it's like up on my thigh, the back of my left thigh. And with this pregnancy, all of the ones that I had with Landon have already come back, which makes me think that I'm probably gonna have more, which sucks because I'm gonna be pregnant during summer, which means I'm gonna be wanting to wear shorts and I'm gonna have these nasty legs. I don't know, can you do something about varicose veins? Like, is that possible? If anyone knows if there's any like remedies, I believe there's like some kind of wrap you can wear around your leg. Let me know if anyone has varicose vein problems or has had experience with this. What can I do? I don't want varicose veins. So another thing this week is that, did I bring them in here? I thought I brought them in here. I mentioned this in my video that I just posted about how I was gonna get new prenatal vitamins, because the ones that I had were just these like capsules. I don't know, they kind of smelled funky. It was just like the typical, like you go to the store because you just found out you're pregnant and you're desperate, grab some prenatal vitamin ones. So I got these Prenatal nausea relief. It came with 30 and it was like $9 or something. So this is what I'm going to try. I don't have an answer for whether or not it helps yet. I've only taken one. So if anyone has any suggestions for prenatal vitamins, I was watching my videos with Lilia. I forgot about this until I watched this video, but my doctor actually prescribed me prenatal vitamins that helped my nausea, and I talked about how it was like gone after that. So I'm hoping to find that magic pill again. Another thing this week is I have been having trouble sleeping, and it's not really that I'm like up all night, but for some reason when I go to bed, when I wake up in the morning, I'm like in pain. And I don't know if I'm just like sleeping wrong. Like we have like a memory foam pad, a pretty thick one on the top of here, which has always been really comfortable. And I know that that's only gonna get worse as time goes on because I'm not even big yet. So I think that's pretty much it for symptoms that I can think of. But one exciting thing is that I hired a birth photographer. So I'm super, super excited about that. In the past, I've been reliant on family members and friends taking pictures, and this time, it's my last one. I just want to make sure that every single moment is captured. So this is the first time that I've hired a birth photographer, and I actually got the package where she does the maternity pictures and the birth, and she does newborn pictures after that. So I of course always take my own pictures anyway, but it wasn't cheaper to get the pack of 3, but it was only a little bit more to get the pack of 3, so it was like, why not? Like I might as well get professional pictures done for once, because I never ever get professional pictures done. So I'm super excited about that, and I'm hoping I have a good experience. But she is very well known locally, and she's done home births before, so she's really excited about it. I'm really excited about it, and I hope that everything goes well with that. So like I said, I had a midwife appointment earlier, and then I had an ultrasound on Monday. So that was 3 days ago. So I was 12 weeks in one day when I got the ultrasound, and then I had my midwife appointment today to check up on everything and make sure everything was okay, because the ultrasound that I got on Monday was the NT scan, the nuchal translucency, I don't know how to say that. The NT scan, it just checks for different kinds of things that can go wrong, abnormalities, stuff like that. And then I also got blood work yesterday as like a second part of that, because it goes hand in hand. You get the ultrasound and you get the blood work. Everything is looking perfectly normal, perfectly healthy. So I'm very, very pleased about that. That is very good to hear. The heart rate at the ultrasound was again in the 170s. And then today at the appointment, she checked for the heart rate again, and she didn't count it, but she said it sounded like it was in the 160s. So it's been very consistently on the high side. The most important thing is it's a strong heartbeat, a healthy baby, and that's really all you can ask for. Oh, the other thing that I haven't mentioned yet, sorry, this is kind of off topic from where I was going, but I'm definitely feeling the baby move. I know I talked about this last week. There was one time, I think this was 2 nights ago, I was laying there and it startled me. I was just laying there, and on my left side, it was like all the way almost towards, not like all the way to my hip, but it was pretty far to my left. There, all of a sudden, I was just sitting there like perfectly fine, and it was like, poof, and I was like, I jumped, like it freaked me out, and Chris was sitting next to me, and I was like, whoa, and he's like, what the heck is wrong with you? But it freaked me out because it was so like strong, very, very strong. And for the most part, it hasn't been like that. It's just been like little flutters here and there, but that was a strong kick that I know for sure. It was just that familiar feeling where you know that that was the baby, and that was really super exciting. And then it was funny because when she was finding the baby to listen to the heartbeat, the baby's on the left side, like all the way pushed over to the left side. She searched all around my uterus and she was having a hard time finding it at first. And it was because the baby is very, very, very much on my left side. And the placenta is also on the left side, which makes me think that that's where the baby's implanted, is like over there on the left side. So the baby's just kind of hanging out on that side, just chilling over there. That was cool because that was where I felt the kick. Oh, but one thing that they did find at the NT scan, not related to the baby, because they always check your ovaries and your fallopian tubes and your uterus and the placenta and all that stuff to make sure like everything looks okay. And the tech found that on my right ovary, I have a very, very large cyst. And cysts are normal. Ovarian cysts are very normal. Pretty much everybody gets ovarian cysts, but the thing about mine is that it's very large. Before I knew this, my midwife brought up the lab that he had sent her, and she was like, do you ever have any pain or bleeding? And I was like, no, like I've never been one to like have spotting or anything during pregnancies. Haven't been in pain, nothing like that. And she's like, I am very surprised because you have a very, very large cyst on your right ovary. I guess the cyst is 3 centimeters long and 3 centimeters by 2 centimeters. So it's very, very large. And she's like, most people with cysts that size are in excruciating pain, like they can't even move. So I was like, I hope I don't get to that point. Like, and I don't know, like, do cysts go away? Do they just, like, do they burst? Like, am I gonna be crying in pain when that happens? Should I expect that? I don't know. So that's the only thing that I learned, is that I have a very, very large cyst on my right ovary, but the baby and everything else looks fine. And she said that it doesn't affect the pregnancy. And she said that if I ever did have excruciating pain or a little bit of bleeding, that's most likely what it is, and to not worry. So that wasn't such great news. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys these pictures that I got at the scan. And if you guys follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you've probably already seen these. And if you don't follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you should, because I update more on there than I do anywhere else. Like, that's where you can be up to date with everything. I will have the links down below, but go follow me on Facebook and Instagram. That's where you're gonna see labor updates and all that fun stuff. Definitely make sure you're following me on those. And I don't have a Twitter. So if you're following a Twitter that is claiming to be me, it's not. I technically have one, but I don't use it. So like I said, I was 12 weeks and 1 day when I got the ultrasound done, but the baby was measuring at 12 weeks and 6 days. So I was measuring significantly ahead, and at my last ultrasound too, the 10-week ultrasound, I was also measuring ahead. So I don't know what's up with that, but they said that that's no reason to change my due date. It's not a significant difference enough to have it changed. So I'm still on for November 13th. So he gave me this 3D one, which is always a little bit creepy, but it's always cute when it's your own baby, right? I'm just so fascinated by technology. Like, it's crazy that you can see your baby in 3D at this stage now. This is the little profile. You can see like the spine and everything and the little face. Here is another side view, another profile view of it. And then this one, you can see more of a full body shot there. And then there's this one too, and you can see the little hand that's up there. So I'm gonna talk about this one. I had asked the doctor if he has ever heard of the Nub Theory, because as you guys know, we are doing all of like the gender prediction stuff and like those theories and stuff like that. So I had asked him if he's ever heard of the Nub Theory, and he was like, yeah, we actually do it here. And I was like, what do you mean you do it here? And he said, apparently there's enough scientific evidence to support the Nub Theory, and they are telling us now that we can start telling people the gender with like a 95% accuracy what they're having based off of the nub. So I thought that was fascinating. He and I were both on the same page though as far as the accuracy of it. I don't know if I necessarily believe in it or not, which is why it is still just a theory to me. But he's like, I'm gonna get you the perfect nub shot. But basically, if you don't even know what the Nub Theory is, the theory behind it is that, so at 12 weeks gestation and 13 weeks gestation, and then before that, all babies have a nub. Boy or girl, everyone has a nub. And at the 12-week and the 13-week mark, depending on the angle of the nub, can tell you whether or not you're having a boy or a girl. The nub is either going to turn into the penis or it's going to be the clitoris for the girl. So everybody has a nub at this point. It's normal. And if the nub is parallel to the spine, supposedly that means you're having a girl. And if it is at a 30-degree angle or more, then supposedly you're having a boy. I did get a nub shot with Landon, and with him, the angle, he actually measured the angle was exactly 21 degrees. So it wasn't parallel, nor was it at 30 degrees. And he obviously turned out to be a boy. It was at an angle, but it wasn't at the 30-degree. And at the 30-degree mark is when they tell you for sure it's a boy. So with him, he was in the in-between, we can't really tell you stage. But a lot of people thought that his nub looked like a girl nub because it wasn't at the 30-degree angle or above. But with him, it was really early, 12 weeks, and it gets more accurate the closer to 13 weeks you are. So with this baby, and this is going to be on my little point gender thing whenever I do that video, I'm doing all the tests to see how many theories and those old wives' tales say girl and how many theories and old wives' tales say boy. I just love this kind of stuff, and I know a lot of people like watching it. So to me, it's just fun and games. It does not matter to me what the outcome is, but hopefully in the future people could be like, oh, that one doesn't work, or maybe that one does work, or maybe it's just coincidence. So that being said, here is our nub shot with this baby. And a lot of people already saw this before I even pointed it out. This is the nub. So as you can see, this nub is exactly parallel with the spine. So according to the nub theory, this is undoubtedly a girl. Whether or not you believe in that stuff, I know I'm not sold on it yet. That's the question. So it's just another thing to take into consideration, but we are definitely not finding out the genders. A lot of people were asking if that's for sure or not. We are for sure not finding out the gender. So my 20-week scan, I'm just gonna have to close my eyes because I don't trust myself to like not look. And on that note too, the INTELLIGENDER test, if you haven't seen that test yet, I will put a link to that down below. But the INTELLIGENDER test, I don't believe in whatsoever. I think that it's just luck, I think, but I do think that it's a fun test. So I went and I bought that and I took that, and that also came out to be a girl result. So I'll put a link to that down below. And I did take that one with Landon, and I took it with the twins, and I got boy results with both of them. But I don't know if your urine can really have any way of predicting what the gender of your baby is. I think that that's kind of silly. I'm gonna keep doing these gender, old wives' tales, stuff like that. With Landon, I know he had mostly girl results with everything. INTELLIGENDER was boy, and there was a couple other little ones that were boy, but for the most part, all of his were girl, and he came out a boy. So I wouldn't take any of these and be like, oh, she's having a girl, because they're all just theories, and just that, they're just theories. I wanna know from you, did INTELLIGENDER work for you? And did the nub theory work for you? So I think I have pretty much covered it all. I will go ahead and show you guys my 12-week belly. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this standing up so you guys can get a little better view of this. But here's with the shirt on. Here's with the shirt up. Not too much to show just yet, but that is what it's looking like at 12 weeks pregnant with baby number 5. So that is it for this week, guys. If you guys have any questions, post them in the comments below and I will try to answer this for you. Like I said, follow me on Facebook and Instagram. That's where you're gonna find a lot of the updates of this pregnancy. And other than that, I will talk to you guys for my next video. Bye. I will be perfectly fine one second, and the next second I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna pee my pants. I swear I am feeling flutters.